guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm going to be doing a lower body session today. So I'm going to get nice and warm, do some mobilization, and we'll get started. 10-minute warm up on the treadmill before we head to our mobilization. Warm up completed, so now I'm going to do some mobilization before I do my lift. I do shoulder rolls. Spend a lot of time on my shoulders. You know, it's an easy joint to fracture, to injure. We don't want to fracture it. And I deal with some shoulder issues, so I spend a lot of time warming up my shoulders. Exercise number 1 is going to be deadlift. Now I did a warm-up set already at 65 pounds. So I put my Versa grips on and my belt for the set 2, which is going to be my first working set at 105 pounds. Now I'm wearing my belt because I want to go heavy on this first exercise. So we're starting off at 105. I have 2 plates down because I want to be doing it elevated. So it's going to be an elevated sumo deadlift. Moving on to our third set, I've increased the weight, so now we're at 125 pounds. You want to try to increase your weight with each set if possible. And now we're going to do 135 pounds. If you think your form is being compromised, then you need to drop the weight or not to go any heavier. So you need to be careful that as you're coming up from the ground, you're not lifting butt first, but you're coming up chest first. The initial one is always a little challenging, but that is what you have to focus to do, getting your chest up and not your butt. So lock in, chest first. Deadlift is one of my preferred leg moves. So every leg day, I try to include 2 variations of deadlift because I can see when it's working. I like to see when the muscles are engaged. I just like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. I can really feel it targeting my hamstrings. I can feel it in my glutes. So I like deadlifts. So I include 2 variations. So I just did the conventional deadlifts, and now we're going to do straight leg deadlifts. Now I'm a little stronger in this variation, so I'm going to warm up with 105 pounds. We're going to do 4 rounds just as before, and we're going to increase the weight just as we did before. The same way you got up in the conventional, you're going to get up in the straight leg. I'm not using elevation, I'm flat on the floor. Warming it with 105, still back coming up first. And now you're not going to touch the floor, you're just going to hinge here, keeping the chest up, roll the weight down, feel it in your hamstrings, up and back down. Now we move on to the king of glute exercises, the hip thrust. Now hip thrust, like any other exercise, can be done in many different variations. I think when you touch down and lift back up, because you have to reset for every rep, and it kind of like the push it gives. But every time you touch down, you're taking tension off your glutes. So we're going to be doing a constant tension hip thrust. So usually if you have big enough weights, you can just slide it over you because the weights make the barbell taut enough. So you just slide it on over, put it in position, bring your knees in position. I'm on an inclined bench so that it puts me in a perfect alignment. And I'm going to keep my glutes under constant tension. And in this exercise, like the deadlift, you're going to increase the weight every time you do a set of hip thrusts. I'm at 200 pounds. I can go pretty heavy on my hip thrust. So I'm at 200 pounds. I'm going to go 10 reps, and then I'm going to increase the weight for the final 2 rounds. Do I look tired? I'm tired, but I'm not done. We're moving on to stationary lunges. Now for this exercise, the weight's going to stay the same for all the rounds. I'm using 25-pound dumbbells, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Now, you want to lean a little bit forward as you go down and up, and I want to keep the weight at 25 for all 10 reps, both legs, all 4 rounds. As my energy wanes, I keep my exercises stationary in terms of weight. So I'm moving on now to a barbell sumo squat. Put it back on my belt. This, even though I'm not planning to go super heavy, I just find I feel more comfortable squatting with my belt on. And we're coming to the end. I probably will just do a little bit of abs after this because I'm feeling fatigued. So off the barbell sumo squats. Now sometimes I use a bar pad, but it's not very heavy, so I'm not going to use a pad. Sumo barbell squats. And we're down to our last exercise. I'm going to be using the sliders. My feet are on the sliders, and I'm going to be doing some mountain climber sliders. And this will be our last movement. Now, as you're doing this move, try to get your knee to touch your elbow. And that brings us to the end of our lower body workout. I'm going to do a little bit of stretching with Nedicity and then off to enjoy the rest of my day. Remember to decide on what you want, commit to it, and you will be successful. Say bye.